This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Well, a very pleasant good evening. Time for Startup Talk from Indian River State College with Mr. Tom Kindred.
Thank you, sir, and welcome to another segment and installment of Startup Talk, the show designed to assist and help Treasure and Research Coast residents who want to start, grow, or accelerate their business. As I always say, what a great place it is to own and operate a business along the beautiful Research and Treasure Coast. We will spend time during our hour together this evening to highlight and create awareness regarding the very powerful and robust business assistance and support programs that exist right here in our community at our very own Indian River State College. I am Tom Kindred, and I serve as the Regional Director for the Small Business Development Center here at IRSC. Underwriters for this segment of Startup Talk are the Florida SBDC at IRSC and our good friends at Express Printing of Port St. Lucie. Good evening, Greg. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. All things are a go, I guess, with the men's basketball team at IRSC. I understand we had a big win the other evening, and we are headed to the tournament.
We're headed to one tournament. The swimmers and divers have the wonderful task of flying to beautiful Buffalo for the swimming and diving championships.
That's right. So this they kind of change years, don't they?
We alternate.
Alternate. Buffalo 1 year, here 1 year. So we're in Buffalo this year. Well, I got to take a little trip to New York recently, and it's a little chilly up there. So,
and the state basketball tournament, by the way, is going to be moving to Niceville, Florida.
Nice.
Which is the home of Florida Northwestern.
Okay.
And they have just built a brand new 12,000-seat gym.
Wow.
Yes. So they're going to be hosting the state tournament. Of course, it takes 5 days to get there, but.
Nice. Well, I'm glad to hear we made the tournament.
Yes.
No surprises on swimming and diving. It's
just 40 straight years.
I was going to say, what are we on, 50th year or something? Straight.
It's getting close.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Listen, we may be breaking some sort of code violation. We may have a code violation in here. We got a studio full this evening of guests. We've got with us Miss Maggie Chapa, who is instructor extraordinaire, who leads a very innovative program at Treasure Coast High School. It is the International Business Academy. Welcome to the show, Miss Chapa.
Thank you, Tom. Good evening to you and to your audience.
And she has brought with her 4 standout students in the program. We've got with us Mr. Thomas Vincent. Welcome to the show, Thomas.
Thank you, Tom, for having me on.
We've got Sabrina Doreska.
Hey, thank you for having me.
We've got Kevin Saha. Kevin?
Hi.
Kevin's
Happy
with us.
to talk this evening.
That's right. We've got him on the back row. And we've got Jenna Klain. Jenna, welcome
Hi,
to the show.
thank you for having me.
So got a great group tonight with us. Going to have a great conversation about this very innovative program at Treasure Coast High School, the International Business Academy. The Florida SBDC has, for as long as I can remember, we have always kind of partnered with Ms. Chapa and her class. We regularly meet, I think, at least once a year.
Correct.
And we exchange some ideas and talk to the students. And we mentioned earlier that we probably learn as much from them as maybe we share with them. So it's a great program.
Do the kids know how to write a business plan?
Well, she's probably working on that.
Of course we do.
There you
18 steps all the way.
Nice. I didn't know there was 18 steps.
You're learning.
That's right. We're going to talk about that 18-step plan tonight. I like that.
I still haven't figured that out how to write one.
Real quick, I want to just mention one thing. I want everybody to get their calendar books out and get their iPhones out and mark your calendar very quickly. The 6th Annual Small Business and Entrepreneurship Conference is coming up on Tuesday, May the 7th. I figured tomorrow was my kind of line in the sand. We got 60 days from tomorrow before the conference. We have Dr. Jerry Parrish opening the conference with a State of Florida Economic Outlook. And this year we've got author Jim Blasingame. He wrote the book, The Third Ingredient. As our lunch guest speaker, he's also going to do a workshop for us. So I want to just quickly remind everybody it's early in the game, but I do want to remind you to mark your calendars. Tuesday, May the 7th, all part of annual Small Business Week and our annual conference. So going to have a big day, lots going on that day. So anyway, I wanted to get that out. But I do want to get started very quickly with Ms. Chapa because this is an incredible program. And later on in the show, we're going to kind of segue over to actually St. Lucie Public Schools Superintendent Wayne Gent's going to join us and kind of update us on what's going on at the administration school district level. So going to be a public school evening this evening. So again, welcome to the show. I want to start with the instructor, Miss Maggie Chapa. Maggie, talk to us a little bit about your pathway to the St. Lucie Public Schools and your involvement with this International Business Academy.
Sure. So I am originally from New York, and I have multiple degrees in hotel management, my business administration, my master's, my MBA. I have a master's in special education. So I've worked in hotels. I've worked throughout the Mediterranean, all throughout Europe. I became interested in the financial world, became a financial consultant at Fleet Bank, and then at Wells Fargo. It was then I decided my peers needed so much more than just basic knowledge of finance. They need soft skills, they need communication skills, they need teamwork skills. And so that time I decided to become a teacher. So I taught in New York for 4 years, and then I transferred to sunny South Florida.
Nice.
And landed in Port St. Lucie and started teaching 5th grade. And my poor 5th graders had checkbooks and had to pay rent and had jobs.
Wow.
So when International Business Academy became an option over at Treasure Coast High School, I jumped on that, and we created Chapa Nation.
I like it. Talk to us about the academy itself. What's the mission? What's the purpose of this particular academy?
The mission of the academy is basically to provide an interactive personal experience which celebrates the differences of each individual. And through business education, they're going to be able to understand those passions that they have and be able to go out there with a global mindset, with a lifelong learning mindset, and be amazing in the world, connect with everybody, and then each individual is going to have success.
All right. And this academy is actually housed at Treasure Coast High School, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Talk a little bit about Treasure Coast High School.
Treasure Coast High School has approximately 2,800 students. It has multiple career tech education academies. We have 9, and International Business is the only one in St. Lucie County. So we have a fantastic administration team led by Mrs. Susan Seal. And I have the best students in St. Lucie County is what I have to say.
I believe you. Talk about the curriculum that's involved in this International Business Academy.
The curriculum starts out as 10th grade year. As sophomores, they come in and learn about international business. Basically, they learn about basic business, and then from there we go into the international business aspect, understanding what's imports, what's exports, what it looks like on a global economic scale, and why it's important not only at a local level, but on a national level as well as a global level for students to be able to be marketable and be competitive in the business world. Mm-hmm. So we need to get those skills just starting in 10th grade. 11th grade, we move on to the financials and overall accounting, and then senior year, we move into international finance and law, where their diversity is now part of their passion and part of their positive undertaking that they're going to now jump into the next 4 years.
Okay. And of course, it's the International Business Academy. Talk a little bit about the international spin that you kind of bring to the program.
Well, the spin starts with understanding themselves and celebrating their differences. And from that, the various cultures, Treasure Coast High School is rated by Niche.com the #1 high school as far as diversity in St. Lucie County. And so with that, we springboard and celebrate everybody's different cultures, because in the future, in tomorrow's leaders, they're going to not only going to have to learn how to market in other countries, but they're also going to have to be able to work with people from other cultures and lead them. And I think in business today, that's a huge area that we need, that cultural competency and that cultural understanding. And my students come out of the gates in high school with that rather than waiting for an MBA program or college program.
I love that term, cultural competency. Can I use use that?
You sure can.
That's a great term. And I guess before I move to the students, kind of one more question.
Sure.
You know, your International Business Academy is one of a number of academies that are offered throughout the St. Lucie public school system. I mean, these are extremely innovative instructional programs. I mean, talk about the innovative nature of these academies.
St. Lucie County has over 37 academies, and the career and tech programs have certifications. So last year they had over 2,400 certifications. The innovation of technology incorporated within the classroom is fantastic. My students are getting certified in QuickBooks. They're getting certified in Internet Business Associate, which is a entry-level IT job, and that's just in a regular business class. So my percentage of certifications with students is 99%. So anybody who's going to sit in the class is going to be able to pass because that's what they need to learn in order to have a foundation to springboard from that.
Right. So, I mean, you are really not only educating students, but you're really preparing them for college or for the world of work. I mean, they're ready to go.
Right. And my answer to my students is my report card is how successful you are.
Nice. Okay.
Ooh, that's nice.
And real quickly, tell us, how would a parent or student learn more about your International Business Academy? I don't want to forget to ask that
yeah,
question.
absolutely. Parents and students can contact me at Treasure Coast High School at 772-807-4300, margaret.chapa@stlucieschools.org. And either one of those would be fantastic.
All right. All right, Ms. Chapa, great work. We're gonna don't go too far.
I won't.
We're gonna talk to some of these students though and talk about this program. Let's start with Thomas. Thomas,
Hello.
how did you get involved in this International Business Academy and why?
Okay, so I was born and raised here in St. Lucie County, right? The whole 17 years of my life, and I was always very interested in business, always reading articles and books on business, stuff like that. So then when I found out that Treasure Coast High School had a business academy, of course I had to jump on board with that, So now I'm here talking on a radio station, which I find pretty cool. So, yeah.
Yes, most people do find this very cool, Thomas.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes. So talk to us a little bit about your take on. I guess everyone's a senior, correct? So
Yes.
we're kind of wrapping things up here this semester. All of you
Sadly.
looking forward to graduating, and yeah. No,
Very
well,
nerve-wracking.
a little nerve-wracking. Well,
Oh, yeah.
and it should be. That's good. That's good. But talk to us a little bit about what you're going to take from this program out into the real world.
Okay, so there's a lot that I'm taking with me onto the real world. The current job that I have, I got because of this place. Most of the knowledge that I have about business, I got from the academy as well. And also my soft skills have grown tremendously because of this academy and how we're made to present in front of the classroom time and time again. So our presentation skills are just tremendous,
Right.
and our writing skills also evolve because of all of the business plans that we have to write and all of the projects that we end up working on. And it's just, it's really helpful.
Sabrina, kind of the same questions. What brought you to the International Business Academy?
Well, in middle school, I was in the Future Business Leaders of America,
Nice.
and I was a treasurer, and I knew that something I wanted to do in life was business. And I did my research, and I found out that Treasure Coast High School had the International Business Academy, and I got a curriculum transfer just to come here.
Nice. So what kind of has been the high point for you in this program in terms of the curriculum? What do you think was the most valuable thing you've kind of gathered throughout the program?
More than anything in this academy, in this program, I've really learned to be a leader. And a lot of the time when you're going through the motions in school, that's not something that's on the curriculum in many classes. And being in this academy, we learned all the skills of what it's like to not only work with a team, to efficiently delegate, to take proper criticism, and to take everything that you learn from yourself and your peers and to apply that into your endeavors in the future.
Wow. All right, Kevin, same thing. What brought you into the program?
Well, what I've always believed was that the term business is kind of synonymous to success, and I've always kind of idolized success and wanting to do well in life, and I never knew exactly what I wanted to do, but going to the International Business Academy, I feel like it's really broadened my perspective, and I feel I always have so many opportunities just collecting skills almost every day I'm at Treasure Coast.
What are your thoughts after graduation? I mean, are you looking to go into business? Are you looking to maybe start a business? What are you thinking?
Well, I probably would, because I'm deciding on what major I want to do in college right now, and I'm thinking my career is probably going to be like a financial analyst, so I'll probably be taking finance classes. And the accounting classes we had in the International Business Academy, I feel like that would help a lot.
Right. So, Jenna, same kind of thing for you. What brought you into the program?
I, like Sabrina, was in the Future Business Leaders of America in middle school, and I never knew what I wanted to do, much like Kevin, but I did ping pong around to a bunch of different careers. But it wasn't until I entered the International Business Academy that I gained those soft skills, like Thomas mentioned, to truly know my pathway.
Okay. And then what are your thoughts kind of as you move out of this program?
I would like to be in the hospitality industry. I learned through the presenting skills that I don't want to be stuck behind a desk. I want to be out meeting people, and hospitality means the love of strangers. So you'll be able to meet different people every day, and we have that culture of competency, so we can meet the different people that walk through the international the hospitality industry.
Right. Well, you're in the right state for that one.
Well, thank you.
Good industry. So again, kind of go around the table here with all of you. Talk a little bit about the curriculum. I mean, did you find that the curriculum in this academy, was a little unique and different than what a normal maybe high schooler might have taken? Sabrina, we'll just start at the end of the table and work our way around.
This curriculum was definitely different from anything I've ever experienced. Coming to this academy, you really learn to step outside of your comfort zone. In business, there's not really a place for comfort zones, and you learn that in this academy. It's all about putting yourself out there, learning new things, and starting from sophomore year, you're really thrust into that business world. Like, you're expected to run yourself like a business. You're expected to be responsible, and there really is no class that can push you like this in this academy. And it's something that is really important, because the skills that we're learning here is something that outside those four walls of our academy you don't get as a high school student.
Right. Jenna?
Like Ms. Chapa said, she has so much experience in the business industry, and she uses that in the curriculum. So she might not focus mostly on a book. She'll use that experience she has so she can drive her students to maybe not make the same mistakes as some of the people that she's worked with.
All right. Kevin?
Right, like Jenna said, Ms. Chapa always feels like a really good resource for us, and it seems like we'll always be able to depend on her when we have real type business questions that we can get professionally, which we might not get in just normal business classes in high school and maybe in college.
Right.
But besides that, every project we have, even throughout our sophomore year and junior year and senior year, it feels very personalized, and we can really put our hard work into something not so specific but more broad.
Okay.
Are you guys eyeing international stuff at all?
I personally, as part of the hospitality industry, would like to work on a cruise ship, so that goes very international. I'd like to.
I'll have to call Mickey Harrison for you.
We need to stay in touch with Jenna, too. We might. Right.
Well, my mother's thinking the same thing, so.
Right. So, Thomas, a little bit about your thoughts on the curriculum. I mean, different from what
it's definitely hard to talk about after three people just talked a ton about it. But like Jenna was saying, when it comes to like international, just anything international, truly, I plan on working in the government, and what comes with that is foreign policy, which you really need to know a lot about, and learning about the international business relations, definitely helps when you're creating that policy so that you can be strong with both businesses and the people, and just it really helps you with anything that you decide to go into, truly.
When, of course, the Florida SBDC, we meet all the time with folks that have, ideas about businesses and are interested and passionate about starting a business. And, of course, as we meet with them and we talk about their ideas, of course, there's always that kind of moment where they say, oh, I didn't think about that, or I didn't realize that. I mean, was there a moment for you as you went through this International Business Academy where you kind of said to yourself, wow, I didn't think about that? Did you have some of those moments, guys?
Can I answer that real quick?
Yes.
Ran out of nowhere.
I literally, the first year, sophomore year, as students are entering and I have full classes, I tell them, My job is to be your teacher. I am going to push you. You are not going to like me some days, and I'm okay with that. So I'm giving you the heads up with that. So I'm sure every kid in the academy
Yeah, so kind of tell us that aha moment or that uh-oh moment that you kind of had when you started learning about business.
Okay, so in the business academy, right, through that we learned again about like the business plans and entrepreneurship and stuff like that. So with that, I have my own company that I've started up right now. I'm gonna plug it real quick. It's called Boosted Gallery. You can Google it, boostedgallery.com, whatever. Okay. So,
we'll send you a bill.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll send you an invoice for that.
Yeah. But,
Shout out moment.
So with that, right, throughout that whole process, I asked her a ton of questions on what I should do differently, and then we had one class period because she loves it so much where we like stopped everything that we were doing, and she had me come up to the front of the classroom and then had kids like critique my business, right? Positive, of course, though, constructual. So with that, it helped me build my business better, and then it helped me out a ton, and I'm really glad that I did that. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without her or the business academy.
Right. Right. Kevin, aha moment that you had, didn't realize it was going to happen that way.
I feel like I've had a lot of aha moments in the academy. I'm always learning something about, just in broader terms, hard work. Hard work is real. It's not just about researching something very shortly. Like, you actually have to know what you're talking about, or else you'll find yourself fumbling over what you're doing, be a business. You'll find yourself struggling, but if you actually know what you're doing, then it can all come very easy and together, and you'll actually enjoy all the hard work you're putting into things.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm glad you brought that point up. We have to kind of preach that to a lot of our entrepreneurs. It really is about research. I mean, we talk in entrepreneurship about, we want you to kind of fail early and fail fast, and that really requires research. So good point. So Jenna, what aha moment for you?
I think my aha moment came when I came to learning about presenting skills, because I was always a very shy child, and I never would have thought that especially I'd be on the radio today. But I feel like if you can get through a presentation with Miss Chapa making some unusual faces towards you, you can make it through anything.
Well, and again, obviously Miss Chapa being an experienced entrepreneur and business person, I mean, pitches and presentations is a big part of this space now. You're going to be asked through your careers to constantly be giving presentations, and as entrepreneurs, again, it's one of the first things we teach our entrepreneurs. You got to be able to make that pitch and talk about your business. So yeah, absolutely, great point.
An aha moment for me definitely was learning the importance of being able to rely on others when it comes to doing group work, projects, and even in business, understanding that bearing all that weight on your shoulders of all that responsibility is one thing, but a good leader and someone who truly has the entrepreneurial spirit, knows how to delegate, knows how to depend on others to get tasks done. And that's something that I really didn't understand before I took Ms. Chapa's class, and I now understand the true importance of having a great team behind you, and how it's the people around you that make you a good leader.
Yeah. Ms. Chapa made the comment about lifelong learners, teaching you to really understand the concept that you've always got to be learning. Talk a little bit about how you feel about that concept, because that is so important that young people understand. Just graduation's not the last day you learn.
Right, absolutely. Actually, it's like the first day that you start, really, because that's when you get out into the real world, and that's when life really starts hitting you, and you got to understand everything that is going to happen to you, and you got to research everything. Even like when you start up your business, if you want to start it up as an LLC or as a C Corp or stuff like that,
Jeez.
Yeah.
This stuff is just rolling
this is like
off his tongue.
Advanced business. That's right.
You're hired.
That's right.
Yeah. But you have to constantly learn. Like with the digital era, when that came in, right? That disrupted a ton of different industries. And the people who didn't adapt to that and learn about that ended up failing. And the people who did adapt to that and learn all about that and that technology, they ended up thriving in their industry. Right. So this definitely helps set us up to be able to research and learn new things.
So, Sabrina, kind of talk about that concept of lifelong learning.
So when it comes to lifelong learning, especially in business, if you're not learning, if you're not progressing, and you're being stagnant, then you can't truly ever acquire that amount of success that you really want in your life, because life is constantly moving and life moves on without you if you're not moving with it. So I think when it comes to lifelong learning, you really need to look around you, see what has moved forward, and you need to adapt, like Thomas was saying, because the more you become a lifelong learner, the more you will be able to progress in your life and in your endeavors.
Right. Now, all of you mentioned business plans, and of course, I can tell you that in the real world of entrepreneurship and business, it's a key component. It's an important tool. So, Jenna and Kevin, talk about the business plans that you had to build as part of this program.
Well, we did work with partners. We had the chance to work with partners, and that's part of like the teamwork that Sabrina mentioned. But we do it in steps, so it's not like one big jumble of everything. So we currently did our management team and our competitive analysis to see how other competitors in the business we're going into, like mine is in the pet industry. So you can see maybe if they got recalled, if they had a lawsuit recently that you can analyze.
Right.
And you start up that business mindset that you can have in the future.
Yeah. Kevin, talk about the whole concept of business plans. What did you learn?
Right. So in our class, we've been working on business plans. Like Jenna said, we've been working on competitive analysis, just understanding your competition. And these seem like very obvious things. And one of the most obvious thing that I seen with everyone's project in our class is that you have to pay attention more to the demand than just the supply, because obviously you can have an idea and supply your product or service that you want to do with your business plan, but you really have to pay attention to the demand, and are people actually going to buy this? And even if only a few people are going to buy this, what's the next level? What's the next step after you've been working on your business?
Right. So again, it sounds like such a diverse curriculum. You guys touched on an awful lot of stuff. I mean, you did projects. This whole class sounds like, I mean, you, in the way you're talking and the experience you've gotten, I mean, you guys really are you're ready. I mean, do all of you have current jobs? Did all of you get work while you were in the class? Did the class kind of help you get that job? And did you perform better in the interview, do you think, because of the class? And
So right now I work at the Economic Development Council, right, which actually is right next to the small
right. You're right
business
next door to
development
us.
center. Yes,
That's right.
yes, we are. Walk by you guys every other day. But so I got that job indirectly because we had this entrepreneurship day and we had a field trip where we went to IRSC and entrepreneurs presented themselves in front of us, and the EDC happened to be one of those presenters. And because of that, I sat there and I was like, hey, I was in the business academy, and I asked like questions that they thought were like crazy for a 17-year-old to ask, you know? So I asked those questions, and then they decided to interview me, and right now I'm their research assistant. But before, they were like, wow, like, you know all this stuff about, you know, like having to be 18 to file for articles of incorporation and stuff like that. And because of all of that, they told me that they only hire people with MBAs, right? So clearly through the International Business Academy, I was able to learn knowledge that people with MBAs have, you know, which also costs a ton of money if you didn't know.
yes.
So definitely
I know.
glad that I was, yeah.
No, Tom definitely knows.
So
Yeah.
again, for the rest of you, did the curriculum and the classwork and the work with Ms. Chapa, I mean, make you more comfortable in that job interview? And
Most definitely. Just recently, I was able to be in the Young Floridian Scholars Award for Career and Technology Education, and I ended up winning in my category.
Wow.
And I truly believe that it was because of the skills that I learned in the academy that helped me breeze through that interview process and know how to conduct myself at the business luncheon that we had in the beginning,
Nice.
and also various internships that I was able to have. Even when I was 16 years old, I had an internship at the St. Lucie County Public Schools accounting office.
Wow.
And I was one of the youngest interns they had there. And because of that, I still keep in contact with my supervisor today.
Wow.
And it was because of this academy that I was able to conduct myself in a proper business etiquette.
Yeah. Jenna, your thoughts?
Presenting yourself is so important, especially in business. And when Ms. Chapa takes you to trade shows and conferences, you can meet those professional business people and just blow them away because you do know how to have professionalism in the workplace and in the business setting.
Kevin?
Right, and about college preparation, I don't currently have a job, but I'm making it up by getting scholarships for college. And these are things that everyone has to do when they want to go to college, but it's really amazing that I feel like I'm getting all this money and really preparing myself, and I can have money afterwards and just have an easier time than other people in life who may not be preparing as much in that way. And even people who want to do in other trade schools or even the military, they even have opportunities in our academy.
Well, I got to say,
Wow.
impressive program.
Wait a minute. Let's get another commercial in here for
Yeah.
this, this young man's company.
For his company?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Thomas.
Come on,
you
Thomas.
you got 10
okay.
seconds.
All right. Boosted Gallery. You guys can all Google it, boostedgallery.com. All of the social media, the tags are at Boosted Gallery. Check it out.
Okay, I love it.
If I may, real quick, there is a golf tournament being sponsored by the International Business Academy. It's the 2019 Spring Shootout Golf Tournament. You can become a sponsor, and we hope to see people there.
How do we get more information about the golf tournament?
You can contact Matt Hines at 772-380-2644.
Okay.
When is the tournament?
March 31st
It's March 31st.
at
March-
Island Pines.
Okay,
Island Pines.
cool.
All right. We're gonna do the lightning round here real quick. In about 30 seconds each. Tell all the students out there in St. Lucie County why they need to be in this program. Thomas.
Oh, okay. Because it teaches you everything that you should and need to know, and to make you successful. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Kevin.
Well, business is everything. We live in a capitalist country, and we have so many opportunities to just make money off your dream just in America.
Nice. Jenna.
Business is unavoidable, and the International Business Academy is so unique and diverse that it's the best place for you.
Okay.
Oh, well, if you want to live like no one else, you have to work like no one else. And there's nowhere outside the four walls of the International Business Academy that you're going to get that kind of preparation in the public school system.
Wow.
So
Maggie, how many students can you have? See,
Wow.
I'm afraid we may load you up.
I have 214 currently, and I don't have a planning period or lunch. Because business is every single period, so
Okay.
that's what we talk.
Well, listen, Miss
Wow.
Chapa, incredible work here.
Amazing kids.
Very innovative program. I mean, this is an impressive group of young people here. I am not worried about the marketplace around here for a long while with you teaching students all this kind of stuff. So great work. Thank you for taking time out this evening. Thank you, students, for taking time out this evening to come talk to
Absolutely.
us about the
Thank you for having us.
International Business Academy at Treasure Coast High School. And with that, stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Startup Talk and Mr. E. Wayne Gent, Superintendent of St. Lucie Public Schools. We'll be right back.
Taking your business to the next level requires money, and the Florida SBDC at Indian River State College has the expertise and connections to help you acquire your growth capital. Hi, I'm Michael Bernard, business consultant with the Florida SBDC at IRSC. We offer no-cost consulting and low-cost training to help you prepare and obtain financing. Whether you're looking for a traditional bank loan, government-backed loan, or a loan provided by an alternative lender, we have the tools, expertise, and resources to help you obtain the financing needed to succeed. While Florida SBDCs do not loan money or administer grants, our consultants maintain valuable relationships with local lenders and understand their lending requirements. Our certified business consultants, many of whom are former bankers and business owners, will provide confidential assistance to help guide you through the process of securing the right source of capital for your business.
For one-on-one business consulting at no cost, contact the Florida SBDC at IRSC at 336-6285, online at irscbiz.com. Indian River State College's rich tradition of winning is highlighted in the pool in Buffalo, New York at the NJCAA National Championships March 6th through the 9th. The Pioneer baseball team has a home-and-home series with Palm Beach State March 6th through the 9th and Miami March 13th through the 16th. The softball team is at home March 9th against Illinois Central and Northern Iowa on March 15th. IRSC's tradition of winning continues in the pool and on the field. You're listening to WSTU Stewart.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
And we are back. And for those just joining us, this is Startup Talk from the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute here at Indian River State College. I am Tom Kindred, Regional Director for the Florida SBDC at IRSC. And it is a great honor and pleasure and privilege to have with us Mr. E. Wayne Gent, the Superintendent for the St. Lucie Public Schools. Welcome to the show, Mr. Gent.
Thank you, Tom. Good evening, everyone.
Yes. Now, again, it is quite an honor to have you on the show because you are actually a listener, too.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I am. I try to win tickets every morning.
Do I give tickets away on this show?
The morning guys.
No,
do.
okay, that's right. Okay. I remember Mr. Gent many years ago, but Mr. Gent left St. Lucie County. But on July of 2015, Superintendent E. Wayne Gent returned to St. Lucie County to serve as the instructional leader of St. Lucie Public Schools. He made his mark early by spearheading the fourth largest 2016 graduation rate gain as the district leaped from 45th in the state to 13th, and then continued record-breaking trends in 2017 with the district's climb to 5th in the state. The graduation continued its ascent in 2018 for an overall increase of 16%, points over 4 years, landing the district at an overall rate of 91.8%.
We'll call it 92.
Okay, we'll call it 92.
It's tax
Round
season.
it up.
You average up.
That's
round
right.
up.
Under his leadership, and I love the way he describes this, these are points of pride for the district. We have no failing schools, top 10 in Florida graduation ranking. 66% of the schools are A or B schools.
Correct.
And 37 career and technical academies where students earned 2,400 industry certifications. And we heard Ms. Chapa talk about that a little earlier. With a solid focus on student achievement to ensure that all students graduate from safe and caring schools equipped with knowledge, skills, and desire to succeed, Superintendent Gent paved the way for the development of a data dashboard used by teachers and administrators to identify the individual needs of each student every day. The educational value of this tool is recognized nationally, and St. Lucie Public Schools was named a District of Distinction. Similarly, the value he places on quality staff and commitment to a positive workplace has earned recognition for the district as one of St. Lucie County's best places to work. Superintendent Gent continues to build and strengthen partnerships with civic, business, and community groups in St. Lucie County. He is a dedicated educator with acclaimed leadership experience in a variety of roles throughout his 40 years plus as an educator. Mr. Gent, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Are we out of time?
Yeah, we're out of time.
Yeah,
That was
we got
the
to wrap
longest-
it
Thanks
up.
for
That
joining
was the
us
longest
this evening.
introduction I've ever had. Thank you so much.
Yes. Well, listen, you've done some great work here, and we're glad to have you back in our community. I remember you well back in the good old days.
Well, I appreciate being here. And before, I just want to say this very sincerely. I want to thank Greg and his wife and what the station does and the community outreach. And you're everywhere. I listen to the basketball games. I do listen in the morning. I'm in the car a lot, traveling from places to speak or visiting schools. And you guys do a remarkable job with our community and uplifting our community. And I just want to say thank you.
Live and local.
Yes, that's
it.
right.
Yep.
Now you've got amongst all the great things that are happening, you've got a couple of issues that we want to talk about tonight. You've got the For Our Kids referendum election that's taking place April the 23rd. This is a referendum to approve levying a $1 mil tax, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what's going on with that. So let's start. If this referendum is successful, how will the funds be used, Mr. Gent?
Well, thank you. It'll be used, and I think the students that were here, they made my day.
They were off the
and
charts.
I was at Treasure Coast today, and they were unbelievable. And so we've got to continue that. And I was so impressed with them. That's because they had a quality teacher, and they've had quality teachers in our school district. And Ms. Chapa represents what's best about our teachers that are out there. We are in a competition right now with our surrounding counties. 20 counties in the state last year went to the voters for different referendums, and all 20 were successful. Some were for half-cent sales tax, some were for millage increases, and in our own backyard, Palm Beach County and Martin County, the voters there saw the value of public education and approved those. And so with that came financial packages for the teachers so that between 0 and 10 years experience or over let me just lay it out like this. They can make anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 more a year based upon the year's experience that they have. So we're in a battle with recruiting teachers. There's a shortage nationally. We're in a battle of retaining teachers. But with those significant increases in salaries and bonuses that different counties in the state are giving to the teachers, we need to go to our voters to make sure that we do the same thing so that we don't lose the Miss Chappas in our school district or any teachers in our school district, because I was just thinking, how would those students' lives have been changed if they didn't have her in front of them?
Right.
And they make the case for us.
It's quite obvious the job she's done.
And then just as important as that is school safety and security. And right now, after Stoneman Douglas, literally a year ago, Sheriff Mascara put, we did not have officers, school resource officers, we call them SROs, in our elementary schools. Back in 1984, the Sheriff's Department under Bobby Knowles put officers in our school centers. When the recession hit about 07, the district had to pull some folks out. PSL has, I believe, 3 or 4 officers in our high schools as well. So we, after 07, we didn't really have officers in our elementary schools. The Sheriff Mascara put those folks back in, but that was at a strain to his own force. And so what we need to do, if we're successful this referendum, we'll continue to have a school resource deputy on every campus. We think that's very important for the safety of our schools. We'll be able to compete with our counties, surrounding counties, and nationally to recruit teachers and to retain them in here, as well as increase some services for mental health for our young people.
And Stoneman Douglas had to be a game changer for all of you.
Well, I just came back from a security conference last week, and I had seen a lot of information, and I've seen probably some photos and some and things that the general public hasn't seen, and it was literally a disaster. Unfortunately, there were a lot of mistakes that were made. There were also a lot of heroic acts that occurred at that campus. So you learn from that. Unfortunately, it was a horrific incident where young lives were lost. 34 people were either shot or killed. 17 were killed. So we take safety, and I take safety. It's something I think about every day, the safety of our students and the safety of our staff. And we want to have a school resource officer on every campus. There's other options available in the state, but I think that that's the best route to go, as well as prevention and training and those kinds of things that we do a good job with here in the county.
All right. So teacher pay, improved safety and security, expansion of some mental health services, and I think some of it will be to preserve some school programs.
Yeah, 70% will go for teacher salaries. 25% will go for the school resource officers. That will pretty much, with dollars that we'll get from the state, allow us to have an officer on every campus. Then we'll have a small portion that will go towards it's about $1 million that would go towards our mental health. We'll be able to hire some additional counselors, school psychologists. We're down several psychologists right now. We've lost them already to surrounding counties, and as well as what's called a behavior specialist or social workers. The children come to us, the youngest come to us with more mental health issues than our teachers have ever seen before.
What age are you talking about?
I'm talking about pre-kindergarten, kindergarten.
What?
The youngest children. And it's not unique to poverty. It's not unique to a zip code. You'll find that in a gated community as well as you'll find in a community that has some economic challenges. The teachers, if you could talk to them directly, when I'm out there talking to them and telling them about the referendum, they can present this better than I can. What they see each day with some of the challenges that the boys and girls, the youngest, bring to us, and it's not their fault that they're in that position.
Now you are the school district is building a new facility.
Correct.
So some people may ask, why not divert some of that money from the construction of the new facility into these initiatives?
It's a fantastic question, and if I could, we would. But those dollars that come from the sale of the building, they'll come from insurance proceeds, they'll come from a sales tax. That building is already paid for. I can't use those dollars for the general budget, for the general operating budget, or I would, and I wouldn't be here today.
Okay.
And so that's a great question, and I know folks see that, but by statute, we can only spend certain dollars certain ways, and so that's the answer to the question.
And how is this different from the half-cent sales tax approved?
Well, the half-cent sales tax really went for capital projects. You have two pots of money, operational and capital. Operational is what I'm here for and we're talking about now. That's salaries, that's people, that's deputies in schools, that's school teachers, that's school psychologists. The half-cent sales tax was for capital. That's buildings, that's school buses, that's technology. That's not salaries. That's the other side. Maintenance, repair, equipment, those kinds of things.
Okay, all right. And what is a millage? Kind of explain that to us. And how much are you looking to raise?
We are going to go for 1 mil, which is really $1 on per $1,000 of assessed value, and that's important. The average assessed value The average home, the assessed value in St. Lucie County is $200,000. That's not the market value, that's the assessed value. And then with your $25,000 homestead exemption, it's around $175,000. So the impact to the average homeowner would be anywhere between $10 and $14 a month.
All right. You know, folks always ask when you have these referendums, and it is is something it's based on a time frame. How do you know that the money will be used for these intended purposes? I mean, what's the protection there?
The protection is built in, and there's 4 layers of it, and it's the best, one of the best questions. It's in the ballot language itself that this will be overseen by a citizens group of volunteers, including a representative from the CTA, that's the teachers. Classroom Teachers Association, and we'll ask for some volunteers. School board members will appoint someone from the community, so we'll have community members. And that's so important because the transparency of where these dollars go is important to me. My integrity is important. My days in Palm Beach County, I had the good fortune of being involved in 3 different kinds of initiatives like this. You've never heard one piece of controversy ever from the Palm Beach Post or from any of the local TV stations regarding how those dollars were spent, and I can promise that will occur here. The state statute, the dollars can only be spent to where we say they're going to be spent. Our school board's accountable. They're accountable to the voters. 2 of them are up for re-election next year. Our school board is fantastic. They do an outstanding job. The outside citizens group, and then this is for 4 years. And I think this is really important. We have to go to the voters because we cannot raise millage rates. Local county government, the Board of County Commissioners, the City of Fort Pierce, or the City of Port St. Lucie, they can raise millage rates based upon a vote from the dais. We can't. Ours is set by the state. So in order for us to do this, we have to go to the voters. And it can only be in place for 4 years and couldn't continue without voter approval after 4 years. And I think that's very important. So that's another layer of the accountability that's built in.
Okay. And kind of a unique way you're doing this, it's a mail-in ballot. I mean, why not just wait for the next general election?
You saw those kids that were here right now. I can't afford to lose that teacher or any teachers. There has to be a sense of urgency for education in this community. I'm proud of what we've accomplished over the last 3.5 years. The businesses that have been attracted, the first question folks ask when they come in is tell us about your schools and tell us how safe your community is. We've got a good story to tell on both of those. Can't lose 2 years. The sense of urgency, each child every day that they get a quality education from a high quality teacher, from an outstanding teacher, a highly effective teacher. I can't wait 2 years.
Right. And then, what is the cost? What do you think this is going to, in your estimations? I think you guys are certainly talking about what the average, household may have to come up with to cover this.
Yeah, I said it would be about $10, $14 a month based upon what whatever the assessed value of the home is. Overall, each year we would generate $22 million. And that would be, so 15.5 million would go to teachers, about 5.5 to school security, about $1 million to the psychologists and mental health folks. And so again, we'll be accountable for those funds. It'll be very transparent. And the cost, there's another cost to this. We can't have a decline in all the progress that we've made. And that could happen overnight. We're a school district of 75% of our children are on free and reduced lunch. And in spite of that, we're in the top 10 in graduation rate. Children can still achieve at higher levels. Children of poverty can. It just creates unique challenges. But our children deserve the finest teachers that we can find. The state of Florida is 45th in the nation in teacher salaries. 45th. And that's dismal and that's sad. And so these other counties have gone to their voters to recognize the importance of that so that their children get a high quality education. If those kids do, then you'll see what they're going to be like as a senior, which you just saw a few minutes ago. Yeah. That benefits the entire community. In fact, that young man, Thomas, that was here, I know of him. I've just met him for the first time tonight. But when he did go, he was an intern at the EDC and tried to negotiate a contract.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised.
I am not surprised.
And that's classic, right. And that's what we want.
Right.
Sure.
And so talk to us about actual the details of this. Folks are going to be mailed a ballot? Is that how this
it'll
works?
be because it'll be a mail-in ballot, and we're doing that because we want to get the most participation from our community. In special elections, you get a very, very small percentage of folks that will come out. Through a mail-in ballot, the ballot will be mailed to all registered voters. It's going to be postage prepaid. It's the only ballot language. It'll take literally a couple of moments to fill out, and then you can put it in the mailbox, and it goes right back to the supervisor of elections. If you don't trust the mail, there's 4 sites to drop it off. It's Gertrude Walker's office on Okeechobee. Up on Walton Road, there's the driver's ed's office, not driver's education, the driver's Bureau of Driver's Licenses office. There's St. Lucie West, there's the County Annex building, and then the newest building is in front of Christ Fellowship in Tradition at the County Tax Collector's office.
Now, when will the ballots actually be in folks' mailbox?
Around April 3rd, April 4th, and they'll have to be back by Tuesday, April 23rd by 7 p.m.
So again, like you said, you're really making this very easy to get everyone's opinion on this. I mean,
we want the largest amount of folks to determine the future of public education in St. Lucie County. And we're out educating, getting the word out. We're having town hall meetings next week. The first night, Monday night, will be at Fort Pierce Central at 6 o'clock. Tuesday night on March 5th will be at St. Lucie West Centennial at 6. Wednesday night will be at Port St. Lucie High School at 6. And then Thursday night will be at Lincoln Park Academy at 6. And we want to educate the public and answer any of the questions that they would have.
Okay. And how would one find out a little more information prior to getting their ballot?
Just go to the district webpage. It's the lead banner, and there'll be a link to direct you to this.
Okay.
To the information.
So for our kids, referendum election, ballots are due back on April the 23rd. The referendum's to approve a $1 million increase to raise teacher pay, improve schools' safety and security, expand mental health services, and preserve some important school programs. Mr. Gent, thank you for all you do in our community.
Thank you.
And thank you for heading up this initiative, and we're happy to get the information out on it.
I appreciate it very much.
Yep. And so with that, we will bring to close another segment of Startup Talk here from the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute at Indian River State College. I want to thank our guest tonight, Miss Maggie Chapa, her 4 standout students, and Mr. E. Wayne Gent, Superintendent, St. Lucie Public Schools, and remind everybody that all the business assistance programs and resources discussed on this segment are available through IRSC's Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute, engaged at every stage of enterprise. For more information on the EDI, its programs, and a complete listing of upcoming business training events, visit that IRSCbiz.com site. That's IRSCBIZ.com. As always, I want to thank Greg and our partners here at WPSL, WSTU, and WPSL TV. And with that, we will talk to you next Thursday on Startup Talk.
You've been listening to Startup Talk right here on WPSL Port St. Lucie, WSTU Stewart, WPSL and WSTU on Alexa and Google Home worldwide.
No deal with North Korea.
We decided that we had to walk.
Michael Cohen